If it's interesting, bring it back to the museum. That was the plan. Well, it's interesting, all right. But let's see what else we can find out before we have to leave. Okay. Time to put our heads into the lion's mouth. It was clearly a carnivore. A formidable predator. What's going on here? You've got incisors for ripping meat and molars, grinding teeth. Stingrays have the same kind of teeth for crunching rock-hard shells. But what would a meat-eating predator want with teeth like these?
Several years have passed, and our juvenile is now a young adult. But he is homeless. Without territory, he will never have a regular supply of food, and he will never mate. But his time has come. In the past, he has strayed accidentally inside the territory of dominant males. Today, there is no mistake. It is a daring act. Half of all young males are killed in territorial battles. The dull coat of adolescence has transformed into a vibrant display designed to intimidate rival males. But before he makes himself known, he takes on stores of a rare and valuable mineral found at the heart of every dragon territory. He is preparing for the fight of his life. And these rocks will hold the key.
The inner surface of the mouth is incredible. It's almost armor-plated. Now this is something I've definitely seen before. A fleshy valve at the back of the throat. This flap is very similar to the false palates found in crocodile throats. Crocs use it to stop their lungs from flooding while holding prey underwater. It's a very distinctive shape, and come to think of it, I think I've seen fossils of this somewhere. This is a highly specialized structure. Can you scout the excavations and dig sites, museums, see if anything like this bone has popped up anywhere else? Or maybe it's an adaptation. Maybe it wasn't used to prevent water flooding the lungs. Maybe it's to prevent a backdraft of fire from burning the throat. Boy, when you say it out loud, does it sound lame. It doesn't look like fire ever came out of this creature's mouth. There's no carbonized food residue, no signs of charring whatsoever. It's as if all the tools are here, they just haven't been used.
Perhaps it didn't breathe fire at all.
Well, maybe you're right. Let's take a step back. Nature isn't constrained by our lack of imagination. Think about it. The natural world is full of bizarre creatures that have the most extraordinary weapons, tongues like spears, colors that change, and shapes. Lassos even, but a creature that breathes fire? Bear with me. Meet the bombardier beetle. Is that how dragons did it?
In the heart of his territory, the resident dragon, the alpha male, blasts a warning into the air. It signals that he is fit, healthy, and confident enough to waste precious fire on a display. The message is not lost on our young challenger. If he has any chance at all of winning this duel, he must be at his very best. because the stakes are high. With territory comes not only a guaranteed supply of food, but the one thing every young male needs if he is to leave his mark on the next generation: females. And this female is the reason he is here. She's in season and for just 1 month will breed with the alpha male. He's killed for her before, and he'll do it again.
Okay, back to basics. What do we need to produce fire? We need fuel, and we need something to light it with, an ignition system. We need a light, combustible material.
Like gas?
Now, what did you say was in these things? Hydrogen and methane? How could I have been so stupid? I need a light. It's hydrogen and methane, both combustible gases, both lighter than air. These sacks double up as buoyancy aids and fuel stores. Evolution at its most economical. So far, so good. But how did you ignite it? Can I take a sample, please?
The alpha male is an experienced warhorse. With nothing to prove, he's lost the bright colors that mark out the young challenger. Experience tells immediately. The alpha male catches our youngster with his first strike. Instinctively, the young dragon heads for cover. The cold, damp clouds will also dull the pain. But the alpha male is not without his problems. These dogfights are calculated affairs. The hydrogen in his fuel tanks also has to keep him airborne. Every blast of flame reduces his mobility. The challenger appears to accept defeat. He heads for the territorial boundary. It seems that now his best hope is to escape with his life. The alpha male drives on. He would rather finish him now, but he has misjudged his young opponent. The youngster is faster, more agile, and crucially, he has a full payload to burn.
Wouldn't you know it? That sediment on the creature's molars, it's rock, with particularly large traces of platinum. Platinum is not just a precious metal, it's also a catalyst. Like our old friend the bombardier beetle, fuel needs an ignition system. And when platinum combines with oxygen and hydrogen, it combusts. It produces fire.
Our young pretender has triumphed. The female prepares to accept her new dragon overlord. All his life, he's fought the odds, and at last, he's made it.
My theory was right after all, and you're the proof. You could fly, you could breathe fire. 65 million years ago, one of your ancestors killed my T-Rex. So how did your ancestors survive when the dinosaurs didn't? The natural history of our planet tells me that it simply couldn't have happened.
65 million years ago, at the peak of our dragon's success, a curtain comes crashing down on the Cretaceous period. A meteorite the size of Mount Everest smashes into the planet. Known as the KT event, it wipes out nearly all life on Earth.
But somehow your species did survive. How? If the KT meteorite finished off the dinosaurs, how did a giant species like yours survive? Let's think straight. What other large creatures survived KT?
Sharks, snakes, rays, turtles, coelacanths, amongst others.
And all have in common?
Their marine life. And crocodiles, too.
Crocodiles. The false palate is found in crocodiles. Raised nostrils, suggesting a creature that could hold its prey in its jaws and breathe while completely submerged in water. But this creature didn't swim. It flew. It has wings and talons, not webbed feet, suggesting the palate must be an evolutionary relic. Somewhere in the dim and distant past, this creature's ancestors lived in water. You swam from extinction.
Water did indeed provide dragons with the escape route from one of the deadliest events in the Earth's history. But not the prehistoric dragon. The land-living dragon was indeed wiped out. But it was not alone. The dragon family had another branch. At the time of the KT catastrophe, the prehistoric dragon had a cousin, the marine dragon. Both species were descended from a common ancestor, but they followed very different evolutionary paths. The marine dragon lived in the sea, and life in the sea was less affected by the KT event. As they evolved, their flight bladders became swim bladders. Their large wings reduced to become fins, and their powerful tails became rudders. Marine dragons thrived. Then, as global temperatures rose and the land recovered, some marine dragons returned to shallow waters. Through estuaries and rivers, they eventually made their first tentative steps back onto land.
The sea serpent. Are the legends actually about marine dragons?
That false pallet, guess what? Looks like it's turned up at a dig site. This could be our missing link.
Well, what kind of environment are we talking about?
Forest.
What kind of forest?
Bamboo.
I knew I'd seen the pallet before. It was in that excavation in China. I thought it had been from an extinct branch of crocodilian. Turns out to be much more exciting. So the water dragon came back on land and evolved into new species, at least one of them in Asia. Forest dwelling. What would you be like? Well, in Chinese mythology, dragons are low-slung, elongated, slender. The kind of body one would expect from an animal that's recently adapted from water. Was it really suited for life in a forest?
The dragons that return to land discover that the prehistoric world has changed. The era of the dinosaur is over, and a new order of animals has risen up to fill the void. Mammals. And mammals provide plentiful food for dragons. The trick is to catch them. The superb camouflage and silent movement has made this dragon all but invisible in the bamboo forest. The wings on this dragon are too small for flight, but the flight bladders provide gentle lift and allow her to glide silently across the forest floor. The markings on her skin break up her outline in the dappled forest light. And to be sure, this massive relic from the age of the dinosaur has had to develop new tricks. Hunting mammals in this compact environment requires tremendous guile. Small, fast, and agile, mammals have incredibly acute hearing and smell. Alerted, they can disappear in an instant. Positioning herself downwind from her prey, she lies in wait and listens intently. But she's not ready to strike just yet. Not before unveiling a highly specialized weapon that gives her an edge against this wary prey. The forest dragon has developed a remarkable behavioral strategy. Mimicry. By carefully controlling the flow of gases from her flight bladder, she manipulates her voice and entices her prey. But her hunt is disturbed. There's an intruder in her territory, a creature that will come between this dragon and her prey for the last time. It's not just the invasion of her territory that riles her, or the loss of the odd meal. This animal is a real and emerging threat to her very survival. A glide is the best her stunted wings allow. But she has the scent now and is determined to finish things. Smaller and more mobile in the forest undergrowth, the new mammalian predators are proving to be accomplished hunters. Left alone, these predators will outcompete her for food, and she would starve. She isn't going to let it happen. The dragon closes to striking range, She blends into her surroundings, unseen, but not unheard. The sound is not a warning to go away, but an invitation to come closer. The tiger senses a meal. But he is a cautious hunter. The dragon tries a subtle change of pitch. The prey sounds distressed. An injury, perhaps? The tiger falls for it hook, line, and sinker. One less rival, one more meal. The kill is taken to a clearing. The forest dragon has adapted its ancient weapon into a culinary tool. Cooked meat is far more easily digested. But the flames draw another mammal near. A species that will prove a far greater threat to her survival.
I came here to expose a hoax, and suddenly a whole reptile family is coming to life. What a family. Of all the prehistoric giants, only yours survived the KT catastrophe. And you weren't the only dragon. Seems there was a forest-dwelling Asian dragon, a sea dragon too, just like the myths. Could there have been others? I need more time. The helicopter will be with us any minute, and soon we'll be heading back to England. And once this thing's back in the museum, I won't get a look in. Until then, we'll keep scanning.
You need to look at this. I've just noticed these fragments here.
What are they? Crushed ribs?
No, the rib cage is totally intact.
But they're bone fragments, right? What are they? That explains the weird proportions.